Alice Rioja is finishing school soon, but he's trying to avoid thinking about his future. Late one night, when he's hanging out with his tough friend Caribe and his immature and girl-crazy friend Choto, they see fireworks. After one blindingly bright explosion, they find themselves waking up in a different world, being attacked by flaming arrows. In this borderland, people are forced to either participate in potentially deadly games or simply die. Will Choto, Caribe, and Ryohei be able to survive this dangerous new world? And is there a way they can get back to their original lives? This is the premise of Alice in Borderland, and the psychological survival game, which sees random civilians thrust into an abandoned Tokyo surrounded by woods. In this, they must complete games to survive, whilst also trying to figure out the reason they are here and try to find a way to escape. What makes Alice in Borderland such an incredible read is that it's firstly assailing, having more mature themes and characters who don't act like a blank canvas for the reader to portray themselves on. The characters in this manga feel real, and as we get to know them, we find out about their motivations, their past, and their fears of this world. The unique thing about this manga is that most of the characters, bar a couple, all have one motivation: to escape from this world, whether it be the antagonist or protagonist. They all want to leave this living nightmare. Through the 75 odd chapters, a diverse cast we are introduced properly flesh out this world, as we see newcomers and veterans colliding and working together in this messed up game. And we see Alice's hardships and pain as he traverses the games of this world, as his motivations become clearer as he deals with the emotional losses and physical trauma that come with defeating the games that scatter this abandoned Tokyo. What this manga excels at is in its horror, as it strays away from the norm of over-top gore that we see in most horror manga now. The manga truly envelops fear into the reader, whether it be in physical, as in the objects that the players have to survive, which is brilliantly portrayed by the stunning artwork, or the psychological ones, as the reader and the characters struggle to find victory in their challenges, leaving both the reader and the characters in despair as their dreaded fate looms over them. But scrap all of that, forget the main protagonist, because all I care about are the side characters and stories. This is where Alice in Borderland shines the most, in its intricate side stories, mainly taking part in the categories of diamonds and hearts, when intelligence and mentality become key, as this manga separates itself from the rest for actually being smart, for characters to act the way that their personality would act in that situation, to having differing degrees of intelligence and not just the protagonist being a fucking Einstein and the rest all idiots. No, in the manga, each character has their own strengths and weaknesses, which allows these characters who form their own separate groups to synergize naturally, as it's not just as they don't just follow the protagonist and make some fucked up harem around him, but that each member of the group has a purpose, and that becomes obvious as you read through the manga. Another way this manga is unique is that it contains side stories showing the world is still going on around Alice, with only one of these side stories actually featuring Alice, with the other four introducing us to a whole new cast, except for one recurring character, and I'll get to him later. But this allows for greater world building, as it broadens the reader's knowledge of the Borderlands and lets the reader get a unique view at how other characters handle the Borderlands and the challenges that come with it. These side stories take the manga to the extreme, taking an already dangerous situation and turning it to 11. By having all these random people suddenly thrown into these challenges with no prior information given to them for the audience of their motive, it increases the intensity, because unlike our main protagonist who tries to save everyone, what makes the side story stand out is that everyone is playing for themselves. Each new character is as natural as can be, only looking out for themselves and manipulating the weak around them. My favourite side story would have to be the Jack of Spades, where 20 individuals are locked in a building with collars stuck on their necks. The rules of the games are simple. Each round lasts an hour. In that time, a card suit will appear on the back of the collar. All they have to do is walk into a room at the end of the hour and state what the suit is. Get it wrong, and you're dead. Pretty simple so far. However, the catch is, all reflective objects in that building have been removed, and among the 20, there is a traitor, the creator of said game. As soon as they realize this, panic consumes them, as they all try to create their trusted groups, but as people are killed one by one, fear consumes the contestants as they try to off anyone for the slightest of reasons to keep themselves alive. And so you find in these trusted groups, their numbers become smaller until none are left. The greatest aspect of this side story is it looks at one's mentality, as the people are participating split into 3 groups: the weak who need support from others, the loners who miss their chances, and the bold who take the challenge and strive manipulating anyone around them just to gain the slightest advantages. And this can be seen in the first chapter, like second page in, when a man, has sex with a woman to emotionally manipulate her. Ballsy move there. Luckily, for the reader, the bold are all psychopaths. Who would have guessed it? And lets the audience, the reader, both cheer and boo these characters as we delve into their psyches. It becomes clearer and clearer that these characters are not black and white, good or evil, but just neutral, a grey colour. This is a great change from the main plot, as we mainly follow a yes mentality protagonist who rarely strays from the side of good. The last side story I want to talk about is the final one, The King of Diamonds, where 4 maths geniuses go up against arguably the smartest man in the Borderlands, Kazuyu Kaiichi. The game is simple. Each will pick a number between 1 and 100. Then they will find the average and multiply said average by 0.8. The closest guess to the final number wins a point, while the other 4 lose a point. Once you reach minus 10 points, strong corrosive acid will fall on you and you will die. What's most interesting about this side story is not just the use of real-world mathematical theory, such as the Keynesian beauty contest and Nash's equilibrium, and how that is used to, and how that formats the game, but it's how the manga sets out and establishes and develops Kazuyu Kaiichi, a man we had seen before and was respected by others in the Borderland, who, whilst delving into his backstory, learn about the contradiction that is his life and personality as an international lawyer supporting major companies, but still feeling sympathetic towards the people whose lives are crushed by these companies. Because at the end of the day, Kazuyu loves humanity, but can't quite understand them. And this is where one of my favourite characters of Alice in Borderlands comes in, Chisiya Shintaro. One might describe it as a wandering psychopath, not feeling sympathetic to people's emotions and goals, sometimes toying with them, but still being able to blend perfectly into society, whose contribution as a character has created some of my favourite moments in the manga, as he features heavily in these side stories. He uses his intellect, but also looks for the thrill that these games provide, and puts everything on the line, which just elevates the manga just slightly. And this is none so clearer than in this side story, as he goes up against Kazuyu Kaiichi. The final moments, Chisiya gives Kazuyu a choice: win and kill Chisiya, throwing away his love for humanity, or lose and die himself, showing that his purest conviction was his love of humanity. And what happens next may be lost for words, but I'm not going to show you, because that would be spoilers. But after talking so much about these side stories, I think I should just clarify and say that the whole manga is amazing. It never misses a beat. Each challenge and character brings something new, whether it be action-based in thrill or tension, or mystery-based, as the characters stuck in this world trying to find a way home and why they were sent here, with conspiracies being thrown this way and that. And added on is the agonizing moments of secrets being revealed, being so close to being revealed, for them just to be taken away at the last second. For a manga to stand out from the hundreds of thousands of other manga that are currently out there, it needs something either to be unique or to strive in one aspect. And I believe that Alice in Borderland strives in the aspect of just beautiful contemplative moments where we see humanity at its best and worst, from their highest peak to the deepest crevices. The harsh struggles they have to overcome to their signs of relief or victory. And this is all accentuated by the beautiful artwork, which cannot be understated, and this is quite unique in the survival genre. It really does bring these moments to life. From terror to hope, it's all there in Alice in Borderland. Thanks for watching. I hope you give Alice in Borderland a read. I know there's an anime adaptation, but it only does the first several chapters. I truly believe that this is the best manga in the survival genre, as it's far superior to the other shit that come out, e.g. King's Game, Darwin's Game, and all the other fucking names. It's just like how every other manga has to have a genre name. It's not only ridiculous and uninspired, but just weird. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed the video. If you can like and subscribe, that would be much appreciated. Let me know if you want me to continue this series. Remember, Yoshikage Kira is better than Griffith. Good night.